Welcome to a new video. Today I will be talking about war crimes, specifically in the 21st century. First, we need to know what are war crimes. Most people are like, they know a little bit, but they don't know enough. There are three groups, or four. I think four is more my taste, but because it's genocide, I include genocide. But you know, first we have crimes against peace, which is basically just starting a war, in a way. That one we aren't going to really talk about. When we have war crimes, just war crimes in general, I don't know. But these are just atrocities committed against people or property, which include, basically, murder, deportation to slave labor, and ill treatment, which is just like really bad treatment of them. So murder or bad treatment of prisoners of war is a war crime. Killing of hostages, torture or inhumane treatment, which includes biological experiments. I won't be talking about that either, since they didn't. There's not too much of that in the 21st century for my things. So, but if I ever do one, if there's enough support, I may do one on that sometime. Not right now, though. Then there's plunder of public or private property. There's destruction of cities, towns, or villages. And then there's devastation, just not justified by necessity. So, unnecessary devastation. Destruction. And then we have my favorite category that they include: crimes against humanity. These include murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, mass systemic rape and sexual enslavement, and much more. But those are the main ones. First, I'll be talking about Syria and ISIS. The Syrian government and ISIS have both committed war crimes. So one thing that they did was they dropped barrel bombs on civilian areas, and some are believed to contain the chemical agent chlorine, which actually includes one of the things that I won't be talking too much about. That's the only case of it, but that's not good. If you know what chlorine gas is, it's deadly. And also, there's been a lot of deaths in Syrian jails, which findings of systemic torture and deaths of detainees, basically killing all their prisoners. Like as many as 11,000 people have been killed in those jails. So a very large number. I couldn't even imagine that many people. Then we have our second thing, which is in the Russo-Ukrainian War. It's happening still. This one is the Mariupol, Ukraine. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but basically, there was attacks on civilians, attacks on hospitals. They were not allowed to have electricity, so they basically took away electricity, water, natural gas and heating, telecommunications, hospitals, and fire stations. So basically, they didn't have access to anything. But they also attacked the shelters harboring, refugees, which is a war crime in of itself, just killing refugees for no reason. Another thing of the Russo-Ukrainian War is when Russia launched cluster munitions, which into the residential areas in the second largest city of Ukraine. These killed multiple civilians, like 9. So a good amount of people died, but mostly it destroyed quite a bit of a lot of stuff. Mostly, the thing that I think is probably the worst part about this is that there's a lot of small sub-munitions, which are just a lot of small explosives all over the place. And the thing is, since it's Russia and their weapons are not the best condition, most of them didn't explode right away. So, leaving them there, so if some random little civilian touches them, they're like a landmine. Boom! They die. If you ask me, that's pretty... It is it's illegal, but in war, it's prohibited, but, they did it anyway. Then we are going on to the Israel-Palestine War. Israeli-Palestinian War, that one. One that is being talked about the most. This one's talking about one of the crimes that Hamas did. Which what they did was they went to a music festival. Like a surprise attack on a music festival. And they killed at least 260 people. For what reason? Basically none. They just went there, killed people, and then kind of left. They just surprise attacked Israel, killing a lot of civilians. That one's just not good. And then we have Israel, both sides have done war crimes. Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about Israel another time right there also, but let's talk about this first. Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza, which is a lot of things that died. A lot of people died. A lot of civilians died. People in mosques and shoppers. Marketplace. They bombed a marketplace full of people, killing families. Basically, killing lots of people, reducing the area to rubble, killing dozens. And they hit mosques, killing people that were worshipping. Basically, they killed a lot of people. Of course, the Palestinians also did a little. They also committed war crimes also. But the thing is, I think more people know about Palestine's war crimes, so that's why I'm talking more about Israel's war crimes, because some people don't focus on Israel's war crimes. So that's one of theirs. And the second war crime, this is the last one I'm really talking about today. If you want more, I'll talk about more. Depends on how you guys like this video. If you guys like it, I'll do more. We're talking about how Israel basically blocked everything from going to Gaza. Water, food, electricity, gas, basically not allowing them to live. The thing is, we were like, there may be terrorists still there. But what about all these civilians that are still there? There's millions of people that live in Palestine. 2.3 million. So it's crazy how they can just cut off all these things from so many people. Probably a lot of people will end up dying from this. Probably already a lot of people died from this already. It's very crazy. And the thing is, if whoever wins the war, basically this is with almost all wars. They're the ones that don't get in trouble for war crimes most of the time. There are, of course, a couple exceptions. But, a lot of the time the people that win, they don't get charged for war crimes. A lot of times, they get away with it. But, this is all I will talk about today. Goodbye.